Okay, so we've got the pictures in. Now, before we start drawing, you just zoom in. So we're going to do this library van because it's something that nobody else will want apart from me. So the pictures or the blueprints are roughly in scale. So we haven't got to rescale them. But if you notice, the top end of the front and the top end of the main body aren't lining up. So what we need to do, that front end, we need to just shove up a little bit. So if you select it like that, right click and then go to transform, you'll get the three arrows. So the red one pulls it away, blue will move it up and down, and then along even, and then the green one will pull it up. If you pull that up, so that roof line is more or less together, and that should be okay for the next step. So easiest way now, what we want to do, we want view a pad of the side, we want a pad of the front. So if you lead in the side, it's the front we want, as it sounds. Okay. So what we're going to do, very simply, we're going to draw around the outline. So don't worry about the wheel arches, we can cut them out later. Don't worry about any windows, we just want a very basic shape of the vehicle. Bumpers, lights, again, don't worry about it. So go on to your part design, and then this brings up a new menu for you. So for anything that you're doing in this, you need to create a body. So make sure nothing's selected, or so it will attach the body to whatever you've got selected there. So to create a body, you need to click this little box here, the L-shaped box. So click that, and that'll start your body off for you. And then we need to do a sketch, so that's this one. Click that, select the plane, so we're on the XZ plane because we're doing the side, and OK. So that now opens up the sketcher tool. So up here you've got various lines you can draw. So that's like different angles, a dead straight line. That's for doing arcs. I tend not to use that. Circles is quite handy. Rectangle and rounded rectangle is really handy, especially if you're doing like Leyland Atlanteans where they've got the nice 70s rubber mounted windows. You can do triangles, squares, pentagons. Again, don't really use them a lot. The main one I use is this one. B-spline by control points. So this one's about the most flexible you'll get. This is for doing curves, you can do straights and all sorts. So what I normally do is I'll pick a wheel arch and start at a wheel arch. So just click on dot, and then you've got to keep an eye on where all these dots are. So when that stops becoming straight, click again. So that's just one line in. Escape, because we're going to change direction now slightly. So if you want to zoom in a bit. So to make sure that line continues, you need to make sure your next dot goes exactly over the last dot of the previous line. Because if you don't, you do it here, or even half of half a millimetre. When you try and pad it, it'll say wire not closed, so it won't pad, and you'll shout and swear and have to start again. Because believe me, you won't find that 0.0005 of a mil anyway. You'll be looking for hours. It's quicker just to redo the drawing. So again, once you're hovering over it and that dot's gone blue, it means you're in the right place. So click on there again, bring your line up there. Again, don't worry too much about the bumper because you'll put that in as a separate bit, and then again click. So make sure you escape now, because otherwise if you go upwards, you'll end up with a big curve and you don't want that. So just escape. Again, back on the dot, and then we can change direction. So click to there. Now we're going to go on quite a nice shallow curve here. So we don't need to escape because we want it to curve. So we just keep going. Now the tighter the curve, the more dots you need. So when we go up to this angle at the top, we're going to stop again. So click on it, escape, zoom right in, and then you want that dot again. So click on there, and then the tighter the curve, the more dots you want. So click that around that corner, and then again, because we're changing direction, come off it. Onto the blue dot again, zoom out because you've got a nice long straight line for your roof to where it changes direction. Click on it, escape, on the blue dot to where it starts to curve, and then escape again, blue dot, zoom in, because again it's a tighter curve, so you need more dots. Once you've done your tight curves, escape, back on your blue dot, zoom out a bit so you can see what you're doing, and then take it to about there where you change your direction comes in. Again, escape, blue dot, change your direction, escape, blue dot, change your direction. Like I say, don't worry about your mirrors, anything like that. Again, escape, blue dot, round that corner now, and then just very roughly to make it to there. Again, escape, blue dot, and then what we need to do is make sure, as you see, it will snap to it, hopefully, if you're lucky, and it'll snap to that. So if you escape from that and escape again, then you've got nothing, no drawing tool selected. Bring your model to the centre, and you'll see you've just got a nice white line all the way around. So if you close that, and then it'll come up with this menu at the bottom, modeling tools. So we want to pad that. So if you go to pad, if it's been successful, pardon me, you'll get this. Now what we need to do, so if you turn your model around, you'll see that your pad is sitting one side of the model. So we want it symmetric to plane. So it'll sit bang in the middle. And then what we need to do, that pad, so you don't want to do it just to there, just to the edge of your model, do it to about here. And it gives you plenty of room then. So we'll pad that out. Now, one thing to be careful with when we're doing the neck bit on this one is because you've got two roof heights. So what we'll need to do when we do the neck bit is we'll go to the highest point rather than the lowest. It will make sense in a minute. So pad that out wide as you can. That'll do. Plenty. Okay. Right. That's your side and your basic shape done. So we need to hide that. So if you click on your body and press your space bar, that will hide that. So you're not going to affect it when you're doing anything else or making your new body. So what we need now is we need the profile of the front. So you see the body is in blue. What we need to do is make sure that's not selected. So if you selected new body and that was still selected, it will bring your side up and try and incorporate that into your new body, and it'll just end up a mess and it'll be easy to start again. So again, up to your L-shaped box, hit that, new sketch, but we're going for the YZ plane this time. Okay. Now, when you're doing the YZ plane, these are easy. You only need to do half of it. One thing to remember, if you're doing it from the front end, don't use the bottom line of your front end as your complete drawing, because you'll have the angle or the angle at the back. So what I normally do is bring the line down to about the bottom of the wheel rim. So if we start at the top, again, B-spline by points because it's just the most versatile. Make sure, so we're going to do it to this green line. So that's your line of symmetry. So when you're on that line of symmetry, it'll turn blue. So that means you've got it where you want it. So click on that, and then again, do your drawing exactly the same as you did for the side. So change direction, zoom it in. Hasn't got to be exact. And then big change of direction. So if you want to, you can adjust that round. So like that one, I've not quite got it. So if you want to pull some of them out, you can. And just make your curve a little bit better. Like that. That's gone a bit too far now. Or if you want, you can just delete, because I've messed that up. That will do. So keep it as close as you can to your line. Again, B-spline by points. the blue dot, bring it down. That looks largely straight line there, I think. I don't think there's any curve to it. Go beyond that to about the bottom of your wheel. Click on there. Again, escape where you get a massive curve. Click on that. And again, you want it make your green line in the middle go blue. So escape from that now. Escape again so you're not selecting any drawing tools and zoom out. Somewhere up here in absolute space, click and hold it and then drag it across. So that'll highlight all that sketch in green for you, but you've only got half a sketch. So if you come up to here, so that's your symmetry. So what this will do is save your drawing it twice. Because no matter how much you try, you're never going to get that corner the same as that corner. So we've selected what we want, hit symmetry, and then you select your line of symmetry. And it puts the other side of your vehicle in. Again, close it, comes up with your menu, add, and if you've been successful and your wire's closed, you'll get that. Again, symmetric to plane, but then we want it just beyond the front and just beyond the back. So make it as long as you like, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then eventually you will get to the point when it wants to do it. Bit longer than you actually want. Right, that'll do. Okay. So you've got a profile of the front stroke back of your vehicle now. Okay. Bring back your original side and you'll see that they intersect now. So what we want is all these extra bits cutting off. So go to your part workbench, select your side, which is now in green, so that means it's selected. Press Control and then select your front end profile. And if you go up here, say you've got Boolean operation, I've never used it. Cut, that's when you're cutting your windows out. Union is for when you put in like body mouldings and things on, you want it as part of your main structure. Then this is the one that makes the magic happen, intersection. So if we click that, and it all works, there you go. You have got a basic shape of your vehicle. And I'll leave it with you at that.